Phillip, maybe you could just explain what actually happened in terms of the action that you took at GE. Could you give us some historical background, like who came up with the idea to actually do it and how that was developed, how the 8 of you came together, some of the process that took place?
We had friends in this area who had been demonstrating at that King of Prussia plant for over a period of nearly 3 years, I would say. And so they were familiar with the plant and familiar with security there, and also with the possibilities of, let's say, a more rigorous demonstration there. And this has been under discussion for really some time. I would say perhaps almost a year before the King of Prussia action. So, since they were dear friends of ours and with whom we had operated at the Pentagon as well as the White House and Department of Energy, and supported the demonstrations up here at the General Electric plant downtown, or headquarters downtown, and then also out at King of Prussia, we were privy to these discussions, and this demonstration was finally planned.
Was there anybody who was specifically, so to speak, in charge in terms of coordinating?
Well, if there were, you know, I wouldn't be revealing it publicly, and I wouldn't be telling you, obviously.
Okay. I'm not trying to draw.
No, I know.
How do you feel in terms of? Can you give us a description, very practically, in terms of what actually happened at the GE plant, in terms of, you know, entering there?
Well, backing up a bit, we prayed for about 3 days and prayed and discussed for about 3 days pre-action, and then went there on September 9th at 6:45 in the morning. Went in with the workers, walked into the plant, did not break in, and did not trespass in the criminal sense of the word at all. 2 of the defendants diverted the security guard who was at the desk in the back vestibule. The rest of us proceeded on into the plant, took a couple of turns, and then found this room in which nose cones, of course, were in the process of production and were heading towards shipment. We damaged and ruined 2 of these nose cones and used blood on classified documents, and then dropped our hammers and stood around in a circle and sang ballads of freedom and human liberation, and then prayed. And after about 12 minutes of this, we were arrested by security and taken to Upper Marion Township Police Station.
Would you see this action as a political action or as a religious action?
Well, it's both. And, you know, Gandhi used to say that if religion is understood properly, it has to be political. And if politics are understood properly, they have to be religious. They're almost like 2 sides of a coin, religion and politics. Of course, in this country, in this culture, they are misunderstood grievously and fundamentally all the time in their own respective spheres. So it was both religious and political.
What about the so-called separation of church and state in terms of our democratic system? It seems to be implicit in the Constitution that church and state are separate. You seem to be implying that they're not.
Yeah, that's all window dressing, and it's all abstraction and rhetoric. Actually, there's very little implementation of that here in this country. The church and state are in alliance and have been in the West, or let's say even further abroad than the West, for 1,700 years. The church is given rewards by the state to keep out politics and to keep from interference with the crimes of the state. Clergy are given exemptions. The church operates under tax exemption here in this country. There are all sorts of emoluments that make the church apparently independent